All right. That's enough of that nonsense. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Blacklist Universe. WMD is back. This week it's weird, magnificent diatribes, but I'm really thinking maybe we should just make it. We make stories for Dean. I don't know. Back this week. It's been a couple weeks. I was gone last week. I had bronchitis, so I'm better. I'm alive. Daniel P. Riley. Hello. How you doing? You're muted. I can't unmute you, so
I can unmute myself though.
You can. So how'd you like the show last time?
It was fun. I think we got really silly.
Of course, that's the whole point of the show. And we kind of got into the groove in a little. It took a minute to kind of figure out where we wanted to go. I think I'm gonna run a poll. What people might want to see us start out with as a groundwork. But at any rate, Daniel P. Riley, he doesn't shill, but I've got Iron Age Media. I know it's not technically your site, but I put Iron Age Media in the description. Is there anything in particular you want to let the people know to check out while they're...
Oh, I can shill for other people, so...
All right.
I will shill Anvil, the Iron Age magazine.
Iron Age magazine, Anvil. Oh yeah, we should bring that up. You know what? Yeah, can you have it on? Can you bring it up?
Yeah, I'll throw the link in the private chat.
I could probably just Google it faster than Anvil. Yes, I already have it on here. So bam. Yeah. Our Anvil is up. Present.
Yeah, 7 short stories from indie authors in the Iron Age community, myself being one of them, and a 10-page preview of the upcoming Razor Fist and George Alexopoulos comic series, Ghost of the Badlands. Lots of really cool art from indie creators. It's all us in the community working together to build this incredible magazine.
Indeed. And King Richard is in the chat. What's up, Rich?
What up, Richard?
And as is the link. We went through Anvil last week. Links in the chat. Please do check it out. I have a new guest here this week. First time guest, although, gosh, he's been part of the community for a very long time. He's sent me novels. He's Mark Huffman.
Hey,
how you doing, buddy?
Is this thing on? How does this work?
It is on.
Can you see me?
It is on. You are loud and clear.
It is on. You know what? Before we get to your project, I'm going to just bring in Amy and Melissa just to round out the crowd.
Is this the internet?
Girls.
Hello, ladies. Hi, Kikoman.
Max, get out of my tea.
Oh, no. Well, he's got good taste.
At least he didn't stick his paw. Hey.
So cute.
All righty then. So, let's see what we can do here. No, not that one.
No.
This one?
That looks pretty good.
You know what, Mark? I'm going to put you up here, and then I'm going to let you... I think this is the tab.
Yeah.
Tell us about Ma'am I Am.
My goodness. What is this?
Yes, let me tell you all about it. Well, this is shilling for a fellow named Chet Festive, really. But I was asked to, I don't know, what would you say, consult on this, because I'm a physician and I'm also a children's author, and that combination is pretty rare. Like, this is my last children's book. It's called Bubbles. It's about a mermaid with a gas problem.
All right.
That's real. That's actually true. That's not made up. That's not a gag. I did that.
It's a true story? Wow.
No, not a true
Real
story.
mermaid.
No.
Yeah. So what, I don't know if you guys have noticed that the whole transgenderism topic is
never heard of it. Do tell.
It exists. And there's a certain misogynistic aspect of it that keeps chasing women off of podiums and literally into closets chased by a mob.
Yeah.
And it's a big subject, obviously, and there are a lot of aspects to it, a lot of facets to it, but mostly it's a lot of people really mad at each other. And I guess my thought and Chet's thought too was any angry protester could yell louder than the next angry protester, and there's a lot of crosstalk. But what if you address the whole issue with a certain blend of well done humor and a little bit of fact versus feeling, but in a way that maybe isn't so divisive? Hopefully, it's hard not to purge this whole issue of divisiveness, obviously, just the nature of it. But basically what we did is we came together and we collaborated and we made what I think is probably the most hilarious book of all time. So
it is funny. It's laugh out loud funny.
It's pretty funny, I gotta say. And I'm not real precious about my stuff. I know what's funny and what's not, and usually it's pretty funny. I mean, I wrote a book about a mermaid with a gas problem. I called it Bubbles, for heaven's sake. But this is pretty good. So we have a printer, and I don't know if you guys are, obviously, Mike, I know you know a thing or two about publishing things and doing
a couple things. I wasn't technically the publisher, but I was the executive director at Alias Enterprises.
You've been around with that stuff, and the thing with books is it's really a blind guess as to the first print run. You underprint, and then you leave a bunch of sales on the table because people just don't have books to buy. They want to buy them and they can't buy them. And you overprint, and then you got a bunch of stock in the warehouse that's just costs some money and taking them space. So our thought was, that's my garage too, and my wife hates it. I got novels, I got children's books. One day, but if you publish books, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But crowdfunding seemed like a neat solution to kind of get a bead on first initial print run. So that's what we're doing. Absolutely. And it's pretty funny.
Awesome.
That's the deal.
I had a question, but it has escaped my tiny brain.
Dadgummit.
I like the tier names.
Oh, yeah. You want to read through the tier names there?
Sure.
I can't zoom in for whatever reason. I don't. You're using fundmycomic.com, which I applaud. I'm glad more people are using that website.
Yeah.
I suppose you'd probably have a little difficulty getting this on Kickstarter.
Well, that's what we want to avoid, and I like the Fund My Comics guys. And if this fulfills its potential, look, I'm not trying to beef with Matt Walsh at the Daily Wire, but I did kind of beef with Matt Walsh at the Daily Wire because he did a book on this subject, and just I'm a guy who's
video of it. Yeah.
It's called Johnny the Walrus.
Yep.
And it's like, good idea, I guess. I'm glad he's throwing punches in this arena because I actually care about it for lots and lots of reasons. Primarily, I got 2 little girls, and I don't want to have them deal with it when they get bigger. But I've spent a lot of time. I don't know if y'all know about children's publishing, but you want to talk about an industry that is entirely, 100% top to bottom, every single piece of it captured by really, really progressive ideologues, more so than Hollywood, more so than education. Nice people, but absolutely captured by hard fringe leftists. And I've got 4 books published as someone who doesn't really agree with virtually any of their politics. And it takes a lot of work to get to that bar of quality so they even look at it, because they are looking for reasons to gatekeep people out of that industry, publishing in general, but especially children's publishing. And they absolutely are aiming for kids.
Yeah.
100%. And so Matt Walsh, who again, I like what he does, but he put out just the absolute lowest quality thrown together book because he knew he could brute force it to Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro And he did, and he blasted it through Amazon. And I think he sold something like 200,000 copies, which, good for him. No sour grapes at all, but it got so visible, and it was so, just from a quality standpoint, bad.
Are you going to be putting this on Amazon?
Yeah, if we can after this print run. Yeah, Amazon is still the big gorilla.
Yes,
and
it is.
Let
me pause you just for a second because Kikoman decided to throw $200 in super chats.
Oh my lord!
To say I am too drunk to stay up too late, but Mark, that's not you. It's me. For some reason. Can you chill for Iron Age Media and his magazine? Also, hail Daniel, get a ruler. And finally,
I only drink on Friday, Kikoman.
I apparently started a socialist movement, Soy Sauce Socialist Republic, SSSR. Woo! Check out RH Snow and A Drink with Crazy. Hail, all hail, Kikoman. Thank you very much. And yes, we will we'll get back. Link is it's not in the description, but link is in the chat for Iron Age. No, it is in the description for Iron Age.
Sauce packets of the world unite, man.
Herman, I have not given you permission to speak yet. But yeah, Mark, it's great, looks great, it's freaking hilarious. The writing is the best part of this. Well, I don't know, whatever. But
it's a pretty good package. Anyway,
it's a good package. It does look better than Matt Walsh's. No offense, Matt. Please, show Mark's book.
Yeah, we love you, Matt. You're doing good work, buddy. But that was kind of low effort, which is fine. Oh yeah, we were going to read the tier lists.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, and then so $5. If you don't want a book, you can give us just a tip. Just a small monetary.
Just the tip.
Just a tip. For $20, you get one book, and that's the Dylan package. Let me see if I can read that. That's super small, but hold on, I'm going to pull it up. Yeah, the Dylan package. Let's see what we say about.
And these are hardback, so they'll be like real legit.
Oh yeah, super nice, super nice. Yeah, small but immensely satisfying. That's the Dylan package. Easily tucked away in a backpack or bookshelf for you to discreetly show your friends. You want to get a little bit better, and the value increases. But let's not forget that. The Jeffrey package. 2 books, binary deal gives you double the fun. Don't leave this package hanging. 5 books is called the Leah package.
The best.
There's no hiding a package this big in a mailbox. Put it proudly on display so people can't help but know, like on your coffee table. That's what I'm talking about there. And then here's the big one.
It's powerful.
10 books. The Caitlin package. It's impressively huge. Veritable decathlon champion of literature. And there's talk, and I'm not the one doing it, but I have heard from multiple places that we need to do an even bigger deal.
A big
like
Mike.
20 books and
Mike.
call it the Big Mike package.
Yeah.
And that's a little spicy. I don't even understand the reference.
No, me either. I just assumed you were talking about me, right? Yeah.
I'm
I think
happy
so.
I asked for that. Your delivery explaining each of those tiers, spot on,
right.
perfect.
They amuse me greatly. Anyway, whoever wants to support, we got some fun plans, and it's real early days. I think this is day 2.
Oh my goodness!
But it's gonna be something.
Thank you.
It's gonna
my
be
leftover
something.
Bronchitis and the laughing is gonna be very interesting in this stream. So
Yeah.
welcome to the stream, Elliot Fernandez.
Hey, Elliot!
By the way, everybody, the link is in the chat. It's in the description. Please do go check out I Am Ma'am. Is it Ma'am I Am?
Ma'am, I am.
By Chet Festive. I
He's
just
a
want to get
rascal.
Elliot's face on the screen next to this.
That looks amazing.
It is phenomenal.
Okay.
Elliot, didn't I see you in a Clint Clint Eastwood spaghetti western once?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you still have the hat? There had to be a hat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
That hat was a prop. I couldn't keep it.
Aw,
just to be nice,
It got
I'm also
shot off his head.
Look, I'm not just going to introduce Herman, but Herman T. Potter went out of his way. Now I have to find it on my stupid computer. To give us a video. Hold on, I gotta pause it now, and then blow it up. And so while this video is playing, I will mute myself. Y'all can feel free to laugh and stuff, but I'm gonna eat my hamburger while this plays because it's 8 minutes long, Herman. But
Well, it was a long story, dude.
he did a recap of,
really?
of the last episode, edited and everything. So,
Oh my
ladies and
gosh.
gentlemen,
You did yourself.
how do I share this? Oh, I'm on the right screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Dag, I'm trying to figure this stupid thing out. All right, let's go. Herman, anything you want to say before I start it?
Yeah, I needed to shave, but whatever.
All right. Oh, wait. Kikoman for $5 said, I became an artist and became better than all of you. Hey, nice. Modern art for the win. Check your DM. I'll check it after we run the video. So here we go. Can you hear it?
No.
Nope.
The movie starts with a dramatic scene where the
There we
king
go.
in black playing Nacho
Yeah.
Libre playing Richard II sitting on his throne in judgment of a dashing, handsome blacksmith, Dean Cain, and his younger and equally dashing
Also, Dean Cain.
Lost the audio.
Lost audio.
Lucy uses his magical axe.
All right. Something's going on here.
And then it's back.
Hold on.
Dean Cain still maintains he's impeccable.
Lost audio, which means somehow or another I need to.
It was super soft on my end. I don't know.
Okay, so that's what happened. All right, so I need to stop presenting, present, and then I need to present the particular window, I think. Is it Vimeo? No, that's where is it? It's not a Brave tab. Am I in? What the heck? Entire screen. Share audio. Share system audio. Share.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna mute myself.
Round two.
It's take two.
Your Magnificent Diatribes presents.
Here we go.
What? Did we lose sound again?
The movie starts with a dramatic scene where the king, Jack Black, playing Nacho Libre, playing Richard II, sitting on his throne in judgment of a dashing, handsome blacksmith, Dean Cain, and his younger and equally dashing brother, also Dean Cain, over something. The king decides that the younger brother of the blacksmith must die. Blacksmith Dean Cain screams and cries dramatically while the executioner, Gary Busey, uses his magical axe to behead his younger brother.
Even! It's not Nolte, it's Busey, you idiot.
And despite being headless, young Dean Cain still maintains his impeccable winning smile. The prologue, of course, has nothing to do with the rest of the story, but it is a really cool segment and provides an opportunity for Dean Cain to expand his dramatic range. Fast forward in time, a young virgin, Scarlett Johansson, lives with her evil stepmother, Selma Hayek. Despite being in her mid-30s, the virgin ScarJo remains chaste. When her father died, he left the estate under the guardianship of his second wife, the stepmother, including all of his exclusive land holdings. This guardianship extends until either the evil stepmother dies or the virgin marries. And seeing that we are calling the main romantic lead a virgin, the latter condition obviously hasn't happened yet. Virgin ScarJo remains unmarried as she has been in love with the local and devilishly handsome blacksmith, Dean Cain. He's the very same blacksmith whose younger brother was beheaded by the king, Ricardo Libre II, many years back. Except now he's in his 50s and remains unmarried because he wants to keep his options open. And despite being slightly over the hill, he is still a handsome leading man, blacksmith. Unbeknownst to the future lovebirds is that a secret desire for the blacksmith Dean Cain is held by the stepmother. The stepmother constantly consults with her magic mirror, also played by Dean Cain, on ways that she can get rid of her stepdaughter so she can have blacksmith Dean Cain all to herself. Because the magic mirror is inhabited by the spirit of the younger brother of the blacksmith Dean Cain, her plans are cunningly thwarted by the advice the mirror provides. This is mainly to ensure that Dean Cain gets a higher percentage of the movie's proceeds at the box office because he occupies multiple roles. The stepmother is in love with blacksmith Dean Cain. The local sheriff, Danny Trejo, is also secretly in love with the evil stepmother. Because of this, he harasses blacksmith Dean Cain on a daily basis and threatens to do something about his excessive hammering in his shop.
Back in Tijuana, we kidnapped you, put you in a oil drum. The ransom's not paid. We light you on fire.
In the midst of this love triangle, the king decides to go for a stroll one day. Wandering the lands of Virgin Scarjo and her stepmother Hayek, the king trips over a stone in the grass and falls to the ground. As he recovers, while wondering who might end up beheaded for this outrage, he takes a closer look at the stone. It's mithril. Looking closer at the ground and some of the nearby rock formations, the king discovered there was a huge amount of magical metal that can be mined from this location. Realizing the vast wealth he could accumulate, he immediately looks for a way to seize control of the land. Consulting with his counselors, he discovers that outside of beheading, marriage to the landowner is a means by which he can gain access to the vast quantities of mithril he knows exists on the estate. What mithril actually does, no one really knows. There are no elves in the story, and even if there were elves, they don't get ill and they never die by natural causes, so it's not really sure what the mithril is used for. But what is known is that it is very, 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 very rare and expensive for some reason. Moving on. After musing about another beheading, King Ricardo Libre II decides it's easier to marry the Virgin Scarjo. He then sends a letter to the evil stepmother Hayek, demanding the hand of the Virgin Scarjo in marriage. Stepmother Hayek receives the letter, reads it, and realizes that if Virgin Scarjo marries a King Libre II, she loses everything.
No.
But if Virgin Scarjo dies, she inherits the land, making her an attractive prospect to be the next queen. Virgin Scarjo discovers stepmother Hayek's plans and flees to go find blacksmith Dean Cain. In response, stepmother Hayek casts a spell on the Virgin Scarjo's favorite teddy bear, turning it into a winged monster, which she then dispatches to kill Virgin Scarjo. With the winged teddy bear hot on her heels, Virgin Scarjo finds blacksmith Dean Cain at the town oiling his mighty pecs. Mid-oily rub down, the killer teddy bear swoops in to attack. As blacksmith Dean Cain and the teddy bear fight, the Virgin Scarjo is actually knocked into a well. She falls and lands at the bottom of the well, which is completely absent any and all water for some reason. And for the same strange reason, Virgin Scarjo doesn't die in impact, break her neck, or shatter a limb to the point where the broken bones project from her flesh. In fact, she doesn't even bruise. She merely goes unconscious, but not a really bad unconscious like a coma or something. She's unconscious in a way that she can be discovered by whatever lives at the bottom of this well. That's not really a well, but more like a convenient hole where people fall in and collected by whatever lives at the bottom.
Right.
The well itself was a place where virgins were usually sacrificed for no specific reason. The townfolk would select a virgin at random and throw them in. When the king took over the region, he ended the practice, though by that time, none of the townsfolk remember why the place was the site of a virgin sacrifice. In fact, there is some debate afterward.
Sorry, I'm watching this for the first time. What's with all the people getting bored by reading?
I feel like this is all of the backup information that you don't necessarily have to have in the movie. Just kind of it's in the bonus DVD material.
I feel like you are mocking this story.
Would I do that?
I think you should.
Would I do that?
Yes.
This should be on
Okay.
TikTok.
Fuzzy's interested. He wants to know what happens next.
All right, keep going. All right.
As to why the well was actually called a well, because it wasn't really a well at all. As blacksmith Dean Cain fights the killer teddy bear, a large bulbous figure that knows Aikido grabs a virgin and drags her further into the well. As he approaches the cavern further in, 7 small figures crowd around the virgin and look at her in wonder. While short, they are also very feminine and seem to consume a lot of soy. Seeing the unconscious form of Virgin Scarjo, they immediately fall in love with her to the point where they are willing to give up vast sums of money to her just so she can say their name online during an OnlyFans live stream. They are cue dramatic music. The 7 Simps. And their tall, bulging leader is Steven Smeagol. Normally, the Simps and their leader, being cannibals by nature, would have consumed the virgin as they had consumed many such virgins in the past. However, because they are so enamored with this particular virgin, and because it moves the plot forward, they decide not to eat her. Instead, they do as they were born to do. Simp. They simp long, they simp hard, they simp like they never simped before. After defeating the killer teddy bear, blacksmith Dean Cain jumps into the well to save Virgin Scarjo. Remarkably, he does so without breaking his neck or shattering his legs, making Virgin Scarjo and blacksmith Dean Cain unique physical specimens, or mutants. We're really not sure. Following the distinctly virgin-esque drag marks, he tracks down Steven Smeagol and the 7 Simps. Blacksmith Dean Cain challenges Steven Smeagol for control of the Simps, a challenge which is accepted. And as the two square off, the camera pans back to reveal that Steven Smeagol is only 3 feet tall. He does, however, remain quite bulbous. The fight is long and hard. Actually, not really, with blacksmith Dean Cain being victorious. Soon after, blacksmith Dean Cain and Virgin Scarjo discover that the queen is being married to the king via an unspecified means of notification. Having an army of 7 ninja simps, all who know Aikido, Blacksmith Dean Cain and Virgin Scarjo leave the well somehow, as if there were a means to get to the bottom of the well easily. There would be no need for Blacksmith Dean Cain to jump down into the well in the first place. And they make to the castle to disrupt the ceremony. Meanwhile, back at the castle, Stepmother Hayek is thinking she's the rightful owner of Virgin Scarjo's estate and woos King Ricardo Libre II. King Ricardo Libre II, wanting both the mithril and the gratuitous wooing, consents to the marriage. In a span of time that lasts a few hours, as it is a whirlwind wooing, King Ricardo Libre II and Stepmother Hayek get married. At once, King Ricardo Libre starts making plans to mine the mithril. Sheriff Trejo tries his best to dissuade his one true love, Stepmother Hayek, from marrying the King Ricardo Libre II. He attempts to fail miserably, and he scowls, and that's what Danny Trejo does best, scowl and act menacing. Midway through making his plans, the alarm bell goes off as the Simp army attacks. Men in armor, wielding swords and crossbow, rush to the battlements to stop the onslaught and protect their liege. The battle is furious. Men cry out in fear, some fleeing the walls as the cannibal Simps rush the battlements and press forward to the keep. Actually, not really. The Simps get arrested by the king's much larger army and are thrown into the dungeon, which is a bit of an upgrade for them as they've been living at the bottom of a well that wasn't really a well with Steven Smigol, who ate all of their food. How else would they become cannibal Simps in the first place? Fast forward to the gallows, where Blacksmith Dean Cain and the Virgin Scarjo are set to be executed by the notorious Executioner Busey and his magic decapitating axe. Executioner Busey taunts Virgin Scarjo before taking her head. And because he's Gary Busey, because that's what Gary Busey does best, taunt and laugh. Merciless laughing and taunting, followed by more laughing.
Have you ever been hit in the face with a bunch of cookies?
This gives Blacksmith Dean Cain time to slip his bonds using the oil that coated his pecs, which was a convenient, if not useful, plot device. Seeing an opportunity to perhaps get his true love's favor, Sheriff Trejo hands Blacksmith Dean Cain a knife that Blacksmith Dean Cain throws at Executioner Busey. While the knife does not kill Executioner Busey, as the only person who can kill Gary Busey is Gary Busey, it does ruin his aim. Executioner Busey's magic axe misses by a hair. Actually, it misses by many hairs, shaving one side of Virgin Scarjo's head. The result? A sudden hair loss that triggers a latent gene in her chromosomal makeup, the result of which is that the remainder of her hair turns bright blue. Virgin Scarjo has a sudden urge to glue herself to a painting and scream obscenities at someone named Trump. With the execution easily and inexplicably foiled, the king relents and gives up his plans for the mine. Blacksmith Dean Cain and Virgin Scarjo get married, Stepmother Hayek and the sheriff get married, the king joins the Simps, and the only one to have a happy ending is Gary Busey, because he's Gary Busey.
Hello, Rock!
All right, well done, well done.
Wow.
I would have added more, but it was tax season, and I was unlimited time.
I feel like some liberties were taken.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I feel like Herman's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna kind of squeeze some of this into my own pie or something. I don't know. Like, what are you doing? So,
The book comes out next
Elliot,
week.
you weren't here last week. Do you feel like you're all caught up?
I'm about as caught up as I can be.
Oh wait, I wasn't here last week either.
None
Yeah,
of
you
us
all
were.
caught
In
up?
fact, none of us were here last week.
I think all of
Ben
us are
West
caught up now.
says a masterpiece of modern cinema writing. That's what we aim for here on WMD.
Word.
Word.
I gotta ask, is the screenplay written?
No, it's not. as
Well,
yet
listen, I got to the semifinals of the Page Awards a few years ago with a pilot, and I literally wrote a 5-part documentary series this summer for Jim Caviezel. That's a true story. So listen, I'm throwing my hat in the
Hey.
dang ring.
You know what? The first episode we did, I did a partial summary and sent it to Dean Cain, and he loved it. So I'm happy with sending these to him every week.
It's a kick out of
If you want to write up a treatment or a screenplay, by all
I
means,
might.
we will go forward.
I got an email from Kevin Sorbo today. He's no Dean Cain, but
No, he's not.
he's a mensch though. He's a great dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's very cool.
Just for that, we need to include Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah.
All right,
that
tonight's
was
tonight's
where I was
adventure.
going with that. Is there a place for Kevin in this?
Well, Mark, you're here
There
tonight.
better be.
You're here tonight to help us craft the next Dean Cain adventure.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
That's what we do here.
With
So,
special
okay.
guest star Kevin Sorbo.
we're gonna need a couple of possible options. Like last week, we came up with medieval rom-com. So this week, we're open to situation comedies. The week before that, it was the zombie apocalypse with Dean Cain as Santa Claus. So
dang it. Okay, because I have a good zombie apocalypse story.
Yeah, we can't return to zombie apocalypse just yet. But if anybody in the chat has any suggestions, best suggestions, we can throw a poll up or whatever. But let's see what Kikoman says for $5. Recruitment video for the Soy Sauce Socialist Republic. Woo! Join if you want fair and equal distribution of soy sauce, which I believe soy sauce is a probiotic, so it's good for you. Good for you.
Yep.
Amy, you were saying?
Well, it's salty, that's for sure. You want to have enough soy sauce, but not too much.
Featuring Dean Cain. All right. No, I thought you had might have a suggestion. Oh, is it time for a Western?
Well, yeah. Sci-fi or Western? Or maybe like a space cowboy?
Space cowboy. See, I was thinking space opera.
Oh, okay.
So maybe space cowboy.
I don't know. Western sounds good.
Western? You want to go Western? All right. So what's the twist?
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain is also Santa Claus in this.
Well, I feel like maybe the comparable genre to Westerns, and I'm thinking soy sauce because I can't stop thinking about soy sauce right now. We could do kind of a Kurosawa samurai movie.
Well, Dean Cain is half Japanese, or quarter Japanese.
So why don't we do how do they call it, a fusion?
Well,
Asian fusion.
I wrote a book called Six Gun Samurai.
Oh, you did.
We already had that.
That's great.
But,
yeah.
So I like the genre of East meets West. So let's do it. We're gonna do East meets Eats.
East meets West. Yay!
Wow.
East
That's okay,
meets
Mark. It's cool.
West. The quarter 1/4 samurai. All right.
I was going to say something about Dean Cain and maybe Kevin Sorbo have to defend a soy sauce ranch.
25-cent ninjas.
Yeah. No, I think
okay. There's no such thing as a soy sauce ranch. Let's not be ridiculous here.
Well, soy sauce and a ranch could be maybe they invent soy sauce ranch.
Oh,
dressing?
Mm-hmm.
Like a dressing, yeah.
Soy sauce ranch dressing.
Yeah, fusion.
It takes over the West.
I would eat it. I would have it. I have this dream that I make enough money to retire
and have soy sauce ranch dressing.
No. It's
you know what's really delicious? You know what Kewpie mayonnaise is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's a Japanese mayonnaise. It's not as, I don't know, bland as American mayonnaise. And you take Kewpie mayonnaise and you just put a few drops of soy sauce and you mix that up. Dude, that makes the best dip for like any kind of vegetables. Didi Willingham for $9.99. Are we still paying Eden? Hope she is well. She is well. She's just very, very busy these days because she's got a boyfriend.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's the reaction I was looking for.
That's right.
Brandon says Dean Cain is a railroad.
Maybe
he's Japanese. He's not Chinese.
Well, what if they're building a rail from Japan to California?
Oh, it's not also through space?
Oh no! Better yet, they're building a rail line from Chicago to Japan.
I think that's right, and it can be through space because arches are actually very structurally sound.
To better distribute soy sauce.
honestly, you could from Japan to Hokkaido to somewhere north Russia over. You just need some pretty good bridges. Get over to Alaska and down to California during the gold rush.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is beginning. Who is Dean Cain in this scenario?
Well, he's got to be the bridge, the metaphorical bridge between
East and West,
soy sauce and ranch dressing. And I feel like Kevin Sorbo definitely has to be the rancher.
he's working on like the American half of the bridge. Yeah, so he might be working for like the train company or the steel mill or something like that. Oh, is this going to be an action movie or is this more like political intrigue? Like,
this is going to be.
I feel like it has to be a samurai western.
Samurai western.
But funny.
But funny, but dramatic too.
Yeah.
Okay.
With zombies.
So we have to take advantage of the fact that he's half Japanese and that since he's Japanese, he doesn't care for the Chinese, so he's using them. I don't know.
Maybe like Shanghai Noon? Yeah. A little bit like that.
I kind of like the Shanghai Noon idea.
Shanghai Noon?
Yeah.
So Dean Cain's the bad guy in this one.
Why is he the bad guy?
Is he
How
about
we have him be the bad guy who becomes the good guy, but then becomes bad guy again?
Yeah.
I thought maybe it'd be like a buddy movie between
Maybe
Dean Cain and Kevin Sorbo.
He's secretly bringing refugees over on his train from Japan.
I love it. That goes to Japan.
And all right, so is Sorbo the foil to his plans, or what is the and who's the love interest?
We have to have a love interest. Okay.
We got to jump right ahead to the love interest. You can't use
Wait, is
ScarJo
Sorbo the
again.
good guy?
Is it going to be a love triangle or is it going to be?
Hey, there we go.
There you go.
All right.
There's your conflict.
Former partners, Kevin Sorbo and Dean Cain.
Now working at separate ends of the rail line.
I don't think he sees the plans coming, Didi.
Maybe the love interest is, we'll say, like the, I guess, tropey wise, the daughter of whoever's bankrolling the rail line.
What if it's Lucy
And she would
Liu?
be interacting on both ends.
I was thinking more along the lines of Elliot Page.
Really?
She's not very pretty anymore.
I think Herman needs to not talk some more.
Yeah. All right, Kikamon. He wants us to see his modern art. This is a total divergence. Although maybe we can add bananas somehow to the.
It is a rail line. Anything is possible.
Sure.
Modern art. I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, that's going to cost you like $25,000 at least.
Yeah.
Well, no.
All right. So, aside from Chinaman, what is being shipped in? What is the cargo?
It could be modern art. I mean, that stuff is expensive, and they could mask it as a bunch of blank canvases and bananas, but they don't realize that's the art. That is the art.
That's the art.
Oh. All right. I mean, I'll take a vote. Karen Gillan. It's not Gillian, it's Gillan. Is our actress. I'm okay with that. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Just not the Guardians of the Galaxy one.
Yeah, the shaved head blue one. Yeah, no.
No. The Amy Potts one. What are you talking?
Yes. Amy Pond only.
Amy Pond. Sorry, I had Jeff Potts on the head. All right, Elliot, what are you thinking?
Good music boxes. That could be nice.
So is Kevin Sorbo the sheriff?
Sure, he can be the sheriff and the rail worker.
Oh, he's not a rail worker.
He could be the rail sheriff.
Yeah.
The sheriff of the rail.
Yeah.
Or maybe
the rail security agents. They had posses that protected the rail lines.
Yeah. And he patrols the top of the train on a horse.
There you go.
That'd be a cool battle. A train going over the ocean.
No, I think so too.
Who sidelines is an interior decorator?
Yeah, or Baker.
Yeah.
Subplot.
All right, we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of Herman. It's one thing when he adds things after the fact, but But this just constant derailment is
No, that's good.
derailment.
Really?
See what they did there.
Rail Sheriff Justice in Blood is.
I think it's not a WMD if we don't kick Herman out at least once.
Can we take a hard look at the Comics Bear title? Rail Sheriff Justice in Blood.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
That's
new Comics Bear. Oh,
that's pretty good.
Rail
There you go.
Justice in Blood.
all right. So he's going. So this is gonna. Would it be sort of like Snowpiercer? Because it would be a very, very long train trip from
That's true.
Japan to.
What, everybody's eating
Francisco.
cockroaches?
But you can do it. You've got Snowpiercer.
I think he
you
was
got
meaning more the living on the train
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Right. But so the whole thing would take place on the train.
sure Murder
Right.
on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
Oh, that works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean there's a long cinematic precedent for
Yep.
train movies.
Mysteries on trains, yeah.
Sure.
All right. So are they leaving from Japan or are they leaving from San Francisco?
Hmm.
I think they have to be
Because that's
leaving.
kind of the start. That the open and closing scenes has to be taking off and then landing, right? So it's the trip.
If we're going with the Dean Cain smuggling Japanese, then I guess it should start on the Japan side.
Yeah.
Gonna
I
have
think
Dean
that's
Cain
right.
smuggling Japanese as art.
Oh, he's smuggling katanas because they're no longer allowed to be taken out.
Trying to save people's souls.
As modern art.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this actually takes place in like the 1800s, so maybe I don't.
1800s modern art.
There you go.
What was that, Picasso or something?
Paint them. Paint them bright colors just so you can smuggle
They
them.
take the katanas apart and embed them in the frames of paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Smugglers.
That's like super loud, dude.
I mean, that sounds like that could work. I know they used to I remember hearing they used to smuggle out like Egyptian artifacts, and they do it by they take them and then they cover them with paint so they look like cheap touristy things. And when they got them out, they carefully wash the paint off. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's kind of a daring thing to do, but it's really kind of a cool idea.
So, this would be what, around the Meiji period? So what were the sort of rules and situations? I don't want to get too like seriously historically
Yeah, it's a bit too
accurate about it, but like if we're smuggling stuff, there's got to be more than just.
Well, I've heard that tradition says that the samurai's soul is with their katana. If that's the case, then I could see it might be worth for some people to get them out and have them be spared rather than, even if it's somewhere else, than to have it be destroyed if it remained in Japan.
Okay, and so Kevin Sorbo is like a stickler for the rules, and he's kind of sniffing out his old business partner, Dean Cain.
You could call it Rail Sheriff, Soul Smuggler.
Yeah, there you go.
Soul sniffer.
Soul
Wait.
Well, now they have to have a dog if it's a soul sniffer.
The Biden Chronicles.
Are we putting actual souls into the swords?
Well, it's special effects, I think, probably. We won't actually do it.
That would be funny if you could get like clues from the mysteries from the different swords. Like they had some essence of the people there or something like that, and they could tell you certain things. Depends on how big of a mystery it is. As you say, it's a long train ride. You could have a pretty complex story if you wanted it.
Yeah, we could have we could have one sword that's the comic sidekick.
Yep.
All right, so this we kind of do have to sort of, I don't know, murder mystery kind of sounds good. Like you have to figure out. First of all, we have to figure out who to kill, who to blame,
and so who's getting in trouble? I'm trying to think, what was the rule? There's only 3 reasons to kill in a story. It's either for love, or for money, or to cover up a crime.
Or
correct.
You're just a random killer.
Oh well, yeah, there's that, but that can be kind of
to move the plot
Kind
forward.
of flies in the face of whodunits, though.
Yeah, I just said no. This guy's just evil. Well, yeah, okay, there's that, but
Oh, is it a mystery?
I don't know.
That's hard because then we got to figure out the end and then work backwards.
It's a samurai rail Western mystery.
Oh, okay.
Serial killers, which actually could work because we're crossing genres.
Yeah.
Like half of them.
Ooh, Ben West throws one word: war.
War. What's it good for?
War.
What is it?
That could be a total B story, like as part of this. Dean Cain is also smuggling a message from Japan to America for some reason to avoid a war, or I don't know what kind of wars were going on back then.
Probably not much.
Maybe this space for Rent knows.
What if we kill the?
Oh, he said reason to kill in a story. War.
That's true. What if the victim...
No, but I like the espionage kind of aspect to it.
Do you know who is the biggest ranch dressing magnate in America? Because maybe that guy's stupid rich.
I think it was DuPont.
Yeah, dude. Oh, let me Google
there you
it.
go.
But I think the biggest ranch dressing magnate in America is waiting for those swords. He collects them.
Oh,
He collects modern art.
There's
and
also
that's what he uses his ranch fortune.
Trade.
Ranch dressing has a long samurai history.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Soy ranch.
Some kind
Each
of legendary.
bottle of ranch dressing has the soul of a samurai warrior.
That's good. That's good. Maybe he wants to introduce soy ranch, and there's some sort of Dean Cain's got a problem with fusion cuisine.
Is he a foodie?
Maybe, probably that's.
Well,
just...
he's part Asian, so he's got to have. We got to bring in part Oriental. Sorry, Dean.
This is getting too complicated. I say we just go heavy with special effects and write random stuff. It worked for Rings of Power.
Yeah.
It did not work for Rings of Power.
Is Dean Cain a chef? Did you say he was a chef?
Well, let's see here. Okay, so we have smuggling so far, and we have Kevin Sorbo's character. We're assuming he's just trying to keep an eye on the rules. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's concerned because people are smuggling in a lot of weapons. I mean, they're not guns, but maybe he thinks someone's planning like a revolt or something.
Or maybe they're planning. Maybe they got a tip that someone's planning to destroy the bridge they're riding.
Oh, that's a good element too. If somebody on there could be plotting something.
Comics Bear suggestion. First train from Japan to the U.S. That's actually a good idea. This is the inaugural trip. Steampunk Western. The
Great
CEO
idea.
of the company is killed, and the rail sheriff, Dean Cain, no, it's Kevin Sorbo, has to find the killer, Kevin Sorbo, before they get to the U.S. That's not a bad direction.
How do you get the trains from Japan though? I don't understand that.
I explained this already, Elliot.
Yeah, Mike explained it.
You have
It
to
was
build a
pretty
few
obvious.
bridges, but you go from Japan to Hokkaido to Russia to Alaska.
I'll be right back.
Down
And our love interest, Karen Gillan, is related or works for the CEO. One of the two.
She's actually an Eskimo that they pick up in Alaska.
Who snuggles the polar bears as our
She's the polar bear snuggler.
It's the snuggling polar bears.
Yeah, Danny Trejo could be an Eskimo.
We have to get him in the movie too.
We don't have to. I just figured,
it follows the theme.
How does it follow?
It's like an anti-theme.
Well, I'm sure
I'm on board. Okay.
More
So there's a train. This is what I'm thinking. If there's a train, I think Dean Cain is the cook on the. You know how they have those expensive trains have like the kitchen car, the dining car. I think he's the cook on that car, right? And then Gillan gets picked up in the middle of her smuggling polar bears or whatever. She gets on the train, Maybe she gets captured. Maybe Kevin Sorbo is a bounty hunter and captures Gillan because she's been smuggling polar bear.
Oh, so she
But
might.
since there's no jail or prison on the train, they lock her up in the freezer, and that's where she falls in love with Dean Cain.
There you go. Maybe he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take that. So now I just made.
Okay.
So is Kevin Sorbo the bad guy?
And she's like,
now?
I don't know, this bad guy just.
No, Kevin Sorbo.
That's an interesting question.
He may be the antagonist, but he's not a bad guy.
Bad guy. Mm.
Okay. So maybe he's not a bounty hunter. Maybe he's like the guy
He's the train
Ranger.
sheriff. He's
the
train
guy-
cop.
He's
Train
bringing
cop.
her along. He's got to take her to. He's taking her to hang. She's gonna hang for her crimes in Alaska.
I think that's good. Now let me throw that at. I can't get off of Trejo, but what if he's an Eskimo wizard and he's the bad guy?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yes.
Like he's an Eskimo shaman, and maybe he even has like a polar bear chariot. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
amazing.
Oh yeah, and he speaks to the polar bears, and the polar bears told him that she's been hunting them and killing them, and she's Russian, right? She's got to have a full-on Russian, even though she's a redhead.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, if she's a redhead, should she be played
he's-
by an African American actress?
No, we don't play that game.
Mm.
Okay. I'm just all about erasing gingers.
Yeah. No, if there's going to be any African American characters, they'll be also Eskimos.
Okay.
Because
that's fair. That's historically accurate anyway. So.
So Danny Trejo, sort of like dressed like Shaman from Alpha Flight,
Yeah.
right? Is the shaman who follows her onto, like, she comes on there with her. Well, no, wait, she's been arrested. So what happens to all of her polar bear pelts?
Well, he puts it in one of the cars as evidence.
Okay.
All right, that's plausible.
Yeah. Because
And Danny Trejo needs the pelts back in order to bury them with their spirits.
Well, see, what happens is that the katanas have the spirits of the samurai. The pelts keep the spirits
of the polar bears.
Well, what if since he's an evil wizard, what if he wants to combine the samurai spirits with the polar bear spirits and make a horrific army of polar bear samurai ghost hybrids?
Polar bears, samurais, zombies.
Polar bears.
Led by Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Nicolas Cage. I'm glad somebody brought him up. We need him.
He's good.
I'm remarkably okay with this. But yeah, if he's like the bad guy.
And I still say we're missing out if we don't go the interior decorator angle. Just saying. Throwing it out there.
Why are you still here? All right, we need Cage Rage. Well, how's Nicolas Cage going to fit on? Is this going to become an ensemble cast?
No, he's just doing a what do you call it?
He's the conductor.
Oh, that could be fun.
He talks like this.
We need a conductor.
Fight things.
Let's go.
I like it.
All right.
I'm just saying, why not? Oh, he's just doing a cameo, man. He's too busy making movies about himself. You could just use him for that spot.
No, I like him as the conductor.
Okay, make it the conductor.
Could be a cameo as the conductor.
So he's friends with the chef.
Kind of the mentor character is what I'm picturing.
He would know everything about the train, right? As the conductor.
He's kind of the Obi-Wan to Dean Cain's Luke.
That's funny.
Works for
I'm
me.
not sure how high Luke's aspirations are going as the chef on a train. But maybe that's the thing. It's like, okay, he's like the world's greatest sushi chef, but because he's only half Japanese, he was rejected from society in Japan. So he's going to try to make his way in America, and the train is his ticket out of Japan and shame.
Why are you saying it so dramatically?
Because
that was very much a thing in Japan. If you were a half breed in Japan, you were like gutter trash.
Yeah.
Back then, yeah.
but not him because he had to prove himself as super master with sushi knife.
Yeah, maybe the sushi college, the sushi academy rejected him, even though he was obviously the top of his sushi class.
Yeah,
No, because there's no sushi college. It's all
back then. It was more
taught,
master and apprentice.
Master to apprentice.
Sushi academy.
So who's the sushi master he trained under?
It was his father, and his father was going to give. Upon his father's death, he was going to get
love.
He was going to get the sushi restaurant, right? But when his father passed away and he became the head sushi chef, no one came to his restaurant because he's dirty half-breed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fine if he works in the back, but he can't come and be the head. So that's why he's like, I need to go to America. Except he says it in a really bad Japanese accent.
There you go. I wonder if he gets to keep his father's knife with him.
His father's knife, which was forged from samurai steel.
Oh,
yeah.
Or
wait, is his father's soul? Does it inhabit his samurai sushi knife?
Samurai sushi.
I prefer a knife that was actually forged from samurai.
Samurai armor, or from the family's
actual samurai,
the actual flesh and bones of the yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense.
Well, they used to, test samurai swords by chopping prisoners in half. So maybe those are the souls that get absorbed.
I feel like this is really a family film, so I don't know about.
Well,
we might want to avoid that.
I don't know.
Well, I guarantee you, it won't get picked up by Disney. They're not into family films anymore.
Oh, that's true.
All right. So where are we at now? Herman, can you recap?
I don't even know what the hell we're talking about, for Christ's sake. We went from
one job, Herman.
From Western to something about samurai
it's
swords.
It's still a Western. It takes place on a Western steampunk train.
Telling you, just throw up some graphics and we write random stuff. We call it Rings of Power. We're done.
There you go. Well,
moneymaker right away.
Yes, that's correct, Sheldon. If the prisoner was not chopped in half, it was a bad sword.
Yep.
So is it a samurai Western or is it not a samurai Western?
Okay, so there's a...
Well, Kevin Sorbo is clearly going to be decked
train
out.
That goes
like
between Japan and America.
Right?
Yeah.
Chaps.
And we have... Let's see. So the romantic interest is in some trouble on the train because she's either smuggling or maybe trying to escape the polar bear shaman.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So maybe she got framed for something the polar bear shaman was up to. But whatever the case, there's a bunch of like polar bear pelts or something like that, or maybe like a magic polar bear artifact that's been put into evidence on one part of the train, and she's been sealed off behind like the kitchen or something like that, where she meets Dean Cain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So he's got a good sense of people. You know, he knows things. So he's kind of like, yeah, you're not a bad person, and she's really happy that someone believes that.
What if Treo is a fur trader, right? And she stole the furs from him, and that's why he's hunting her down.
Hey,
that's a good one.
Bad. Mm-hmm. Is he still also a shaman?
Sure.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's why he's so good at it, because he entices the polar bears with his magical siren song. And it's not fair. It's not right. It's not good, and Karen Gillan knows that.
So she is falsely accused. She's not actually out there trapping and killing polar bears. She was trying to rescue the polar bear pelts.
Yes.
Can I?
Yeah.
Something I was thinking, maybe she just doesn't want to see the shaman profit from such cruelty.
Mm-hmm.
And so she steals the pellet. Maybe she tends to like dump them out in the middle of the ocean or something.
Give them a barrel.
And give them the barrel or something.
Yeah, the proper burial so the polar bear souls could rest, probably. is what that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
So okay, maybe she
So Treya's
was.
an evil shaman.
Maybe she was even in cahoots with him, right? And then like she betrayed him and like kicked him off the train. But then like the whole train goes by and he like runs and catches the back end of the train, and like he has to make his way all the way to the front of the train to find her. But she's been arrested because she was
Caught with the furs.
Caught with the furs.
You know, I'm really not feeling this. I think we should probably bring in Miles Finch.
Who?
Miles Finch.
Miles Finch has nothing. Miles Finch did not write a book about a farting mermaid. Okay, he couldn't think about that. He'd never. I don't want to hear about Miles Finch.
I don't even know who Miles Finch is.
Oh my God, Mike!
What?
I'm thinking for the
You have a children's author here, and you don't know
Dadgummit.
who Miles Finch is.
Nope.
For Christ's sake.
He's played by Peter Dinklage in Elf. He beats up Will Ferrell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'll tell you, that scene hits a lot harder when you're a published children's author.
Yeah.
It really, I feel very passionate about that scene.
Oh,
Stressed me out.
that's dark. Holy cow.
Oh my.
That's dark.
Maybe.
The
Let's
prisoner
think
would have
about
to
it.
be a fish.
I
Well,
like
technically,
that.
The prisoner
And
would
the
have to be
prisoner
rice.
is
Right.
supposed to be our love interest. So how does she end up as sushi?
She would have to be rice.
Prisoner Tartar.
No.
If anything, it's the evil shaman who should end up as sushi.
That's what I was going to say. Let's have someone end up as sushi, but that should be his ironic fate.
Yeah.
We're not having human sushi.
Oh, I think it just means being turned to the fish.
What if he's turned into a fish? We got magic, so he can be turned into a fish.
Ah.
And then they make sushi out of him, and it's kind of a fun, happy ending.
And
Or
fed to polar
maybe
bear.
he has to run away from a polar bear because he's a fish. And
Yeah,
polar
Or
bears
should
are
there
like,
be
"No,
Polar bear, circle of life.
There should
Yep.
be at least one live polar bear.
You're gonna
Maybe
tell
it's
me
a pet.
you're gonna tell me a polar bear is gonna turn his nose up at human sushi.
Polar bears are vicious. They'll eat their own babies. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're really
Fair
mean.
point.
We should melt all the icebergs and get rid of them.
I hate icebergs. They're the worst.
What did they do to Stop.
Stupid
No.
frickin' glaciers.
Are we going to make it a musical? I feel like that's a good idea.
I like that idea.
Of course.
A cannibal
that-
musical.
There's always music.
A polar bear cannibal musical.
I'll do it too. I took 13 days to write a 22-song musical based on the cosmic horror of H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh,
Nice.
Elliot, you hear that?
It's so dope. Wait, Elliot, do you
Listening?
want to win a Tony?
I'm listening.
Do you want to win a Tony? It's called Horror from Beyond. It's set in the 1930s, where a bunch of plucky
I
college
feel like
prep-
that is the missing the missing spice in this story. A little bit of Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that would
I'm talking
explain
about-
we have the magic.
Yeah.
You know
Some
what's
never-
better? You know what's better
Some
than a little bit of
Cthulhuid horror
Lovecraft?
from the deep.
Wait, one at a time. Daniel?
Some Cthulhuid horror from the deep.
Mhm.
Something I mean, they are crossing
They're
a
crossing
bridge
the
of
ocean.
water,
Mhm.
right?
But you know what's better than a little bit of Lovecraft? A lot of Lovecraft.
Yes,
Matter of
sir.
fact, let's just do something Lovecraftian with samurais, polar bears, and sushi.
Well, it could be Lovecraftian and kind of more subtle. You don't have to go that hard.
Yeah, Lovecraft. A lot of times it's very subtle. It's a slow descent into madness. You really don't know what's happening until you're, being ripped apart by tentacled old gods.
Maybe
I
that was
think-
the reason evil shaman Treyo was collecting polar bear pelts.
Yep,
Yes.
I think that's
Yes.
exactly right.
Because he's
some
trying to keep Cthulhu
unknown
Bear
ritual.
from rising. So we think he's a bad guy the whole time, but really he's been trying to stop Cthulhu Bear from
Oh,
taking over.
that's a double twist.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
Did
and
we
the-
lose Kevin Sorbo?
whoa,
This ain't just a twist. This is a tango.
Mhm.
man.
What is it? The yellow king, which is Hestur,
Mhm.
which I might add, yellow is a very calming color. So we can bring in the interior decorator angle again.
There you go.
That's
Oh,
good.
snap.
The whole interior decorator, it's the king in yellow. I mean,
That's it,
that's
king
where
in
it's coming from. Yeah.
So what
Interesting.
also the another twist on the twist of the twist was that the shaman was actually going to sacrifice Karen Gillan as a virgin to the polar bear Cthulhu to stop the uprising, but then he didn't realize that she wasn't a virgin.
You have this thing with versions in your story, don't
Mike,
you?
I love
Mike,
virgins.
Mike, I don't think you're taking this storytelling seriously.
I'm the only one keeping this train on track.
I
don't
thought
think
the
you
reels were doing that.
Hey-o. Yes.
All right, Elliot. Sorry. Where am I going wrong here?
Oh, you're going great. Keep going. I just don't think you're taking it seriously. So what I think happens is he's got the spirits of the polar bear. He's trying to conjure up an eldritch god.
Okay.
He needs the pelts.
Mhm.
He's in the business for all the wrong reasons. There's real reasons. There's good reasons to kill animals, but that's not the one.
Right. He's
So-
summoning the elder god. Polar bear is not.
So then what happens is, he gets. So did we lose Sorbo in all this? Is he no longer part of this?
He's still the sheriff. He's trying to figure out. He's trying to solve the mystery. He's the
He's the Mulder.
He's the Poirot.
Right.
Okay.
He's the
okay,
Mulder
I
in
gotcha.
this X-File.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, this is going so good. I popped popcorn and I'm eating it right
He's the
Nice.
one. He's the one that doesn't matter if like Cthulhu is rising up behind him. He's not going to turn around and look because he doesn't believe in all this nonsense.
No, and the
all
law's
this
the
mumbo
law.
jumbo.
The law's the law. That's what he cares about.
When Trejo says, "I need my pelts," and he does that, and he starts conjuring, starts saying some weird stuff, like weird stuff, and then that's a good scene where his chest explodes and tentacles come out.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
I like
whose
that.
chest explodes?
Treos.
Yeah, possibly.
Does he turn into the polar bear monster?
Only in the middle of
We
the
could
musical
have
number.
we could have Lizzo as a polar bear.
There you go.
Well, she's got to be an Eskimo because that was the rule that you set out.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
She could just.
Phenomena.
I'll be right back.
I don't know what happened. I think we scared Mike. This is the.
Maybe he thought you were going to summon something with that.
There you go.
I was trying to sing the song without singing it so he doesn't get struck with copyright stuff. Also, I don't know the lyrics.
Oh.
Phenomena.
That's the next Lizzo song.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna redo that one.
Mamma.
So Sorbo's just on the train.
Yeah, he's the lawman on
Currently,
the train.
yes.
He's just a random. He's just a random passenger on the train. He has
assume
absolutely no
the final
dialogue.
conflict will be Sorbo and Dean Cain against, I guess, mutated Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo as
Whatever
some
the
sort of
mystery
polar
turns out
bard.
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
The avatar of
Yeah,
the
the avatar of
Cthulhu,
the
Cthulhuid bear.
Mhm.
I heard you guys
Eldritch.
say that Trejo and her were in cahoots. So
Well, that was an idea. Nothing here is written in stone.
Right.
nothing here is written.
Nothing here is written at all.
Except for the wizard stone.
Yeah, that was
Shameless
written.
Herman plug.
There you go.
Which, by the way, is on sale at Amazon right now.
Kicking Herman again.
Yeah, that was my fault. I teed him up for that one.
Yeah, you started the shill. I have to end it.
Yeah.
Can't leave him hanging.
Sorbo is the sheriff, and he develops a taste for Kane's delicious sushi. Well, yeah, I feel like we're losing the through line for Dean and Kevin.
Well, we were just talking about ultimately Kevin and Dean would end up facing off against mutated Danny Trejo Cthulhu Bear.
It's kind of like when you're writing a mystery, you figure out what. It's strange, but a lot of times there's the characters that surround the mystery, and then there's the mystery itself. And a lot of times the characters around the mystery, what I don't really aren't that strongly affected by what the mystery is. So you can kind of figure out this is what's going on around it. Oh, and this is the mystery they have to solve. This is what happens. Put the clues out, and then the rest of the character stuff just kind
But
of.
I feel like if we're moving into Cthulhu, Danny Trejo, Polar Bear, then we're gonna have to fight him using more mystic skills or something.
Like the samurai swords.
The swords.
Samurai sushi knives.
Samurai sushi knives.
Yeah.
And
Sorbo provides cover fire with double 6 guns like a true cowboy G.
There you go.
So like he doesn't believe in anything, but he does believe in werewolves, and so he's got silver bullets.
He doesn't believe in anything except werewolves and
I don't believe your mumbo jumbo. Is that a werewolf?
Wouldn't it be funny if he ended up transforming during a full moon? Like, it's a werewolf! No, it's a fine. Let's go with that if it gets you.
I mean, if you want to go with the werewolf angle, technically the pelts. There was I want to say Native American myth of skinwalkers. So maybe the polar bear pelts that were collected by Danny Trejo was part of the ritual to become the Cthulhu bear, and technically it makes him a skinwalker.
Did you just say Cthulhu?
Sorbo
look at all there.
knows.
And we can get rid of the whole sushi thing because that idea of the half-breed samurai is actually a story idea I have for a character that went the opposite direction. But that's a great idea of a character who was rejected because we're still in the Meiji era, so it's at the tail end of the samurai's rise and time of power. And so he's not just a half-breed, but he's also now the samurai have lost power, so he's like bucking out of Japan just to try to have a new life, and he's taking the swords of his fallen samurai, because the government's like trying to confiscate the swords, so he's like smuggling the swords out of Japan
to keep them safe.
I actually want to write this screenplay though, for real, and make it serious.
We're getting there. Let's form
amazing.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is the writer's workshop of the internet.
This thing is on more psychedelics than hippies in the 60s.
I think it sounds like a neat story.
It's very exciting.
It's going to be amazing. I'm actually going to throw away all of the novels that I've written because what's the point?
You'll never get as good as this, man.
Yeah.
No. Nope. They won awards, and I'm going to throw away my awards too. I don't deserve them. This deserves them. I'm going to give this the awards.
There you go. Well, you know what? The best project you've worked on is the one you're doing right now. That's the way people should feel about stuff. So
that's true because it's Ma'am I Am. So that's actually
there you go. Wait, my thoughts.
We could also intermingle into this story is the Wendigo.
That's too many monsters, and that's more Canadian. And I'm racist against
Canadian.
Yeah, Wendigo's Canadian, and they're the only people that I'm racist towards. So
it's a Native American. It's about
Canadian Native American.
It's about what do you call it? Cannibalism. So if we feed Danny Trejo as sushi to what's his face? Kevin Sorbo then becomes a Wendigo, but he's a polar bear Wendigo.
What if he becomes a regular Wendigo, and that's the only way that they can really fight the
Cthulhu bear?
Yeah, the Cthulhu bear.
Cthulhu bear.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah,
if Trejo becomes an octopus, you chop him up. Now he's sushi.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's good.
You see,
that's
Love
good.
crafty and
right.
Yeah,
Right.
there you go.
I think this story is beginning to need Chuck Norris.
Oh, do you think we can get him?
He has a ranch like 45 minutes from where my parents live. So yes, I do. For sure. Guaranteed.
But he's got it. Okay, Chuck Norris would be the Deus Ex Machina of this story.
The mysterious stranger.
There you go.
The one that just
Chuck
comes in
Norris.
when everything's
going to hell.
everything's going to
Chuck
hell.
Norris
Chuck
jumps
Norris
through there, and
shows up.
everybody turns and says, "It's Chuck Norris." And then,
Like there's like one passenger on the train the whole time who just has a newspaper and all this crazy.
Yeah, he's like
happening.
he's just in the back with the hat tilted.
Yeah, he's got to be doing
All
the
you ever see
cowboy
is the
thing.
beard.
So he's kicked down, hat on, head down, just sleeping the whole time until the shit pops off, and then he's up and doing stuff.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we find a revolving
Now
door.
this story's
He's in
coming
the movie.
together.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh, why is your Jaguar?
Then Chuck Norris chops him up with a boot. Well, I don't know if it's. I think
I
maybe
don't know.
he
If it's
just
Chuck Norris, we're gonna have to go with the roundhouse kick.
or he just punches the air and the shockwave knocks Cthulhu over.
One Punch Man style.
Yeah, totally. Chuck Norris is One Punch Man in this story.
except it's not one punch; it's one kick, and it's always a roundhouse kick.
That's what I'm saying.
And he even
He's the one kick man.
He like spirit punches the Wendigo out of Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's good. That's how we resolve that. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Spirit
Sorbo from A Life of Cannibalism.
Spirit roundhouse kicks.
Yep.
And then he looks at Karen Gillan and she gets pregnant.
Family film.
Right. No, but like he just looks at her and like she just suddenly has a 9 month. She's like 9 months pregnant suddenly. And then he like disappears like a force ghost, and then like she gives birth to the next Chuck Norris.
Yeah, I think we've hit the sweet spot on this. With Chuck Norris, I think it's the sweet spot to this movie.
Yeah,
Chuck Norris
something is always it's just right there, out of reach, like a kumquat on a tree. You just gotta reach out.
I think that we need Sam Elliott to narrate this.
He's an Eskimo too.
Yeah.
Elliot is?
He's the Eskimo chief.
Yeah.
And Lizzo's his Eskimo daughter.
Oh yeah.
And Samuel Jackson is his Eskimo son.
Wow. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
All right. Tie it all together. So we start in Japan, right? Opening sequence.
He's smuggling swords.
It's Dean. No, it would be Dean Cain fighting against maybe some of the Meiji police, and then like he defeats them.
Ooh. And that's why he hates lawmen.
Ooh.
Yes.
And then
that's why he hates lawmen.
Gathers up the swords of his people, and he smuggles them into a case that's, like maybe it's somebody else's case on the train, just like to get it on the train, and then he sneaks onto the train. Right? He doesn't buy a ticket. That's why Kevin Sorbo is after him from the beginning.
Right, because they wouldn't let him on with the
Is
swords.
Kevin Sorbo the real sheriff? Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Sorbo's the sheriff.
Yes.
Is Kevin Sorbo one of those guys that you see in these foreign films that's clearly an American that learned another language and they just use him in the film? So he kind of speaks Japanese, sort of, in the beginning. He's the one hunting him down.
He might have learned Japanese for his job because it's the train that goes from
Yeah,
Japan.
but we can straight dub like a real Japanese speaker speaking.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's talking.
Yeah.
Reverse dub.
It looks like he's in a Chinese movie.
or just make sure that all of his dialogue is completely dubbed.
Like he performs
another way
it
to
and then
go.
he records it separately.
I'm sorry, I'm a dub talker.
And then like as he's walking down the thing, you see him walking, but his footsteps aren't matching. So he says, "Oh, I'm also a dubstepper."
Yes.
That's an anachronism. I
True.
mean, no one would believe it. You're gonna take everyone out of the story if you do stuff crazy like that.
No using none of those fancy English words.
Sorry. I mean, I'm a children's book author, so it's hard to stop.
See, what we do is we constantly have this like pace of knocking people out of the story, so that they're constantly having to readjust, and then they're never actually off balance because the whole story's never in balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot about this that's not balanced at all. Unbalanced.
There's some concepts in
Herman,
there.
I just don't feel like you're really into it this week. Like you're.
The video took a lot out of me.
Did it? We apologize. All right, so
having to speak that quickly is exhausting, huh, Herman?
Yeah.
So if that's the opening sequence, then the closing sequence has to mirror that in some way.
So getting the sword settled somewhere?
But I might add, I brought in Chuck Norris.
That's fair enough. Reason for you to be here. How
put a bunch of the spirits of the polar bears into the sword as well, so you can use the sword against Trejo, who's got most of the spirits, or maybe he has his own sword.
No,
maybe
but that'd be cool.
An energy sword.
An energy sword.
Well, he's got tentacles and stuff.
Well,
he's got tentacles and magic.
Yeah, so he would be drawn to the swords and be trying to take them from Dean Cain.
You could sense they have
power.
Yes.
So
either because he needs it to summon the monster, or he knows it could stop them if they could figure out how. Maybe the girl knows how the swords could be used to stop him, so that's why he tries to get rid of her, and why she needs
I don't know.
to
I just have total anime head. I have like a picture in my head of like Dean Cain holding one sword and like all the other swords like floating around him. Like
that'd be amazing.
By the power of my ancestors!
And they all tip forward and fire at the enemy.
Yeah,
I don't think Dean Cain should use an accent. I think he talks like normal.
He worked really hard on his English.
Oh, I can make it a castle.
I'm from Japan.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
All right.
No class.
So now what happens? Wait.
Are we on the resolution then?
Well, okay. What's the inciting incident?
Now you mean what gets Dean Cain on the train, or what gets him to meet?
No. Dean Cain's already on the train, but something has to set the story in full motion.
I feel like it's when they find Karen Gillan doing something sketchy with the pelts.
Well, yeah, that's a stop, right? They have to stop in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's this? Yeah. What you doing with the pelts, Karen Gillan?
And
you're
she's
dang Russian.
Oh,
what's going on here?
Or we could stop in Hokkaido. We could make Karen Gillan rather than Karen Gillan and Danny Trejo being Eskimos. They
don't change that.
They can be Ainu. The Ainu are the native people of Japan, and they have really crazy weird makeup. So it's gonna be Karen Gillan with a big old black tattoo on her mouth. I'm part Ainu, so that's why the only reason I know about that stuff.
That could work out.
I knew that.
Maybe the train, even if it's like the first time the train's left from Japan, it could have. I mean, I feel like they were probably making trains in America first and then moving them over to Japan. So probably the train would have started on the US
I didn't even think about that. This is the inaugural train trip, which means we have to have the designer of the train on board.
It doesn't have to be the inaugural, but it could be.
That'd be a neat event.
Yeah, and that could certainly be a neat backdrop for things. But if they're leaving from Japan, then this would be their first return. So from the Japanese railway back. So you could have picked up some Eskimos or people from Canada or Alaska on the train, and they could have read part the way over and then be on the way back. So maybe she stole the pelts from the shaman and was on the train, and she's like, okay, now what? But now she got kind of stowed away, and she's like, well, now I'm going back, and that's a problem because he's still there waiting for these. But he has these swords, and she's like, we might be able to use this to stop him. So maybe that's.
Well, I think it's a one-way trip.
Well, I mean, they don't just leave the train there, do they?
No. But they pick people up, but it's from Japan to San Francisco. So they start in Japan, they end up in San Francisco, and the stops along the way could be Hokkaido, Russia, somewhere in Russia, and then Juneau. I mean, if we're having to make stops for the story, I mean, these are the different places we can stop.
Right.
But it's like a steampunk bullet train, right?
Yeah.
We're like moving at like 300 miles an hour in old train.
So much steam.
Really fast train for that period.
Yeah.
I remember my mom said she was on a steam train in England back in the day. It took them a while to get newer trains over there, and it was a steam engine, and they went on an overnight train. I think it was from Southampton to London, and the man who ran the train, a nice gentleman, but there's not often people on those because it's not a passenger train. So he'd like to stay up and chat with everybody, and then he'd make tea for everyone by pouring water off the boiler. So it tasted kind of like nails. But of course, you're English, so you're polite. And you're like, oh, it's lovely. Thank you. And get absolutely no sleep. But it's just
But your anemia is gone.
But your anemia is gone. That's true. So that would be, if it's going to be a steampunk engine, then you have to have tea off of, that would be cute. Tea off of the boiler. And tea's a big deal in Japan too. So that would be kind of funny.
Oh, Fuzzy Creature is pointing out that I don't have polar bears. Hey, you know what? Back then they might have.
Yeah. If it's steampunk,
Hell, you know what? I mean, if we're stopping in Siberia, we could have an Asian woolly rhino, aka
biblical unicorn.
An elasmotherium.
Yes.
A unicorn horn.
Yeah.
That's magic. That's high magic right there.
Yes. Very, very high magic.
Well, there you go. If you've got a unicorn horn, all bets are off. I mean, that could summon anything. You don't even know. It could grant a wish or do whatever.
It's not a magical. It's a elasmotherium.
So summoning, but not granting wishes. Gotcha.
Hey, Hokkaido has black bears, which are hot. So we could have black bears and polar bears. We could have black and white bears.
There you go. Like the cookies.
Yeah, or like my K-pop song that I wrote called Black White. It's about a polar bear. Yeah.
Black white.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that polar bears aren't actually white?
That's
they're black.
They're black and clear. Black and clear.
Mm-hmm.
Black and clear.
Their hair is clear, which is why it looks white.
What the hell are you guys saying right now?
Polar bear's hair
bear
is
facts.
clear because it's basically fiber optics that draws the sun into their skin, which is black, which can retain the heat.
But they end up looking white.
Right.
Yep.
It's an optical illusion.
When they get algae in the hair, they turn green.
Yep.
Green polar bears.
Just don't ever trust a polar bear. That's the point.
Never trust a polar bear.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm probably not going to go over and pet one and go, hey, what color is your fur?
That's Chuck Norris's line in the movie. Never trust a polar bear.
That's his only line.
Never trust a polar bear. Don't ask him how he knows that.
Yeah, and he's got a single scar down his right.
But you should see the polar bear.
To a polar bear.
Never trust a polar bear.
All right. So
I bought him a sweater and he didn't bring it back.
All right. Who's I'm going by the Blake Snyder beat sheet here. But so what's the moment of death where everyone thinks they've lost all hope and nothing.
Well,
right
beginning
before
of the-
Chuck Norris shows up.
I was gonna
The
say it was
beginning
when
of the
Danny-
movie.
When shouldn't it be when Danny Trejo starts turning into the
Summons monster.
the Eldritch monster?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like that would be pretty big.
Well, I think right before that, we have to get to a point where they think they've defeated Danny Trejo, but then something.
Well, maybe they did defeat him, but they didn't stop the monster.
He blew up the bridge that the train's gonna cross.
So
Well, how did he get to the bridge?
It's a multi-dimensional monster. It is able to go across dimensions, and
he created portals and out of
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, that's Eldritch God stuff.
yeah.
Come on.
Come on, Mike.
So Danny Trejo's standing on the front of the train, summoning an eldritch god to destroy the bridge in front of them.
No, Danny Trejo is the Eldritch God standing in front of the train and in the caboose at the same time because Eldritch God. And multiverse. Don't forget multiverse.
No,
Okay.
I'm out if it's multiverse. I can't do it. There's no stakes. There's no stakes when you get to multiverse.
True.
You're just gonna undo it. Next movie, Danny Trejo's back. How? Oh,
King
multiverse.
Bob.
King Bob is here. Everyone say Kevin.
King Bob.
That's the closest I got.
So wait.
All right. See you later, Bob.
So what happens now? So they fight on the bridge, or they're fighting on the top of the train, like in the Matrix when they're fighting on.
Yeah,
the,
and Kevin
on the
Sorbo's
truck?
on a horse on top of the train.
Yes.
Yep.
What the
Correct.
hell? is
Obviously.
happening right now?
They're fighting
With Dean
they
Cain
fight-
and his 8 swords.
are fighting
Each other.
I think. I mean, at this point, what they've already figured out. Yeah,
Well, why-
it's probably the guy summoning the evil monster who's the real bad guy here. We need to stop.
I was going to
Sure,
say,
but why is he trying to stop the train?
The shaman. I mean, maybe he's not trying to destroy it. Maybe it's just the fact that that thing summoned could take out the bridge anyway. I mean, if you're bringing up a giant monster from the ocean floor, that's
Then
not
it would
going to
be
be
in
good
the-
for bridges.
On the rail over the water, and summoning the creature is going to destroy the rail line. There's your
And if
moment.
you're
of
on the
death.
train, that's not good.
Yeah,
Unless
but
you
see,
can.
generally in a moment of death, you don't want it to actually kill everyone.
Yeah, so we got to stop Trejo before it actually.
I feel like if the train actually goes into the water, the story ends.
Well, yeah, you've lost at
But
that
if
point.
Trejo is the avatar, then finishing him off before the creature actually makes it all the way up out of the ocean to destroy the rail line.
So
There-
that would have
there's
to
a
be
stake.
Dean Cain in the spirit of his forefathers.
Yeah.
Spirits of his ancestors.
Could it? Yeah, I mean, unless like the swords, like the magic swords and their steel, managed to kind of piece together a track for a moment just to get the train across.
He has to use the swords to replace part of the broken track.
Yes. Yes.
Sacrifice some of his ancestors.
Like
They're-
Superman did.
They're
with
honorable,
Cape.
so they'd be like, "That's
Yeah,
save
they're
everyone
super
and their
into it.
grandson."
I agree. They'd be super into it. They'd be like, whatever you need.
Mhm.
We're here
Stop
for
this
you.
great evil and get everyone home safely. They were
Yep.
heroes.
For duty and honor.
Mhm.
All right. That works.
And
All right,
Dean
so we
Cain
got
sees
that
his
part.
mom, his dead mother. He's like, "But mom, I've always loved you. I'm sorry. I stole your cart,
Hairpin.
whatever."
Wouldn't it technically be his dad?
Well, maybe there was a hairpin that belonged to his mom.
I don't know.
That looked
Yeah.
a lot like a big samurai sword.
Is his mom still alive in America?
Oh, that could work.
Mhm.
He's half.
Maybe.
Oh my god, he
That's
is half.
right.
Maybe.
Yes and no.
Oh,
At the same time.
very interesting.
So she's a zombie.
That's too many genres, I feel like. That's
But that's a neat idea. He could be going. If his father lived in Japan, then his mother would be American, and that would explain like the passport thing. Like, how's he getting to America? Oh, right.
But
Half
there were no
American.
passports back then, were there?
Or half of her lives in America and the other half lives in Japan.
Oh my God.
It could happen.
How many times would you like to be kicked tonight, Herman?
What are we on, 4?
It's called a hemicorpectomy.
What?
See?
When
See?
There is literally a term for when you cut someone's body in half medically.
Uh-huh.
Hemicorpectomy.
Yeah, I always wondered if you did that to like Deadpool or Wolverine.
Learn something new every day.
Would there just be 2 Deadpools and 2 Wolverines? Right.
You're getting kind of philosophical for me.
Okay.
I think it would depend on if the 2 parts were able to come back together before they grew into 2 separate people.
It's like, like a magic sword thing where you bring both halves of the sword together and it becomes whole and something happens. He needs to bring back both sides of his mom. And she turns into Voltron, which is also Japanese.
Herman?
What?
Yeah.
I feel like you're not taking this very seriously.
I like that his mom lives in Japan or lives in America. I think that's nice. So when he gets there, he gets to have a happy reunion too.
So there's a personal stake bringing his father's sword to his mom.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they can get married again, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, his dad's dead.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
yes, but
it's more like a
father-
memento.
Kind of.
Yeah, bringing the family sword to his mother.
I just want to say, keep in mind, Voltron is Japanese.
What if we just remake Voltron?
Poor Herman.
Voltron is
with
actually...
Except that everyone's a polar bear.
Go Lion.
Yes, go Lion.
Go Lion. All right. So what do we need to work on here?
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, let's see. We have the bad guy, the
We have the
shaman
moment
who's
of death.
trying. Yep, the shaman who's trying to.
We don't
summon
have
the
any
monster.
song titles.
Well, maybe we can flesh
We
out
gotta
that.
figure out a
part.
place to put in the songs.
Okay, what's the
Okay,
theme?
I'll put some stuff together.
What's the theme of the story?
How would you express like the idea of a theme, like redemption or
Well, no,
family?
the theme is like when you you have a sort of a premise that you set out at the beginning of the story, and then the story sort of debates whether or not that premise is valid, right?
Oh.
So it's
Maybe-
like at the beginning of a movie, you're like, never trust a polar bear, right? And then
The polar bear's your friend.
Maybe purpose and belonging.
Well, you know what? If you're going to do that, you're going to have an arc where you have somebody who's jaded against polar bears who eventually becomes to embrace polar bears. Problem is, we had a polar bear shaman that's trying to kill everybody and turn into Cthulhu. So you can't start with saying you can't trust polar bears. You have to kind of actually go the opposite direction and say you should always trust a polar bear, and then find out later.
Because it's pretty
that-
obvious we can't trust polar bears.
Can't trust polar bears because they're going to kill you and destroy the world and stuff like that.
right,
But
so
if-
that'd be a solid theme. Never
Yeah.
trust a polar bear.
Well, then maybe
But
the
if
little
Dean
girl
Cain
turns
is
out to be
our
like a-
protag, and his whole arc involves
So that's the thing. It's like in the opening scene, we can do a flashback scene to the death of Dean Cain's father, and his dying words are, "Never trust the polar bear." And then Dean Cain's like, "What?"
which is a line that Chuck Norris then repeats later on.
Right, exactly.
And there's your tie-in.
Didn't you listen to your father? He said never trust a polar bear.
Oh yeah, no, Dean. That's he says that, he winks at him, and that's when he force ghosts out.
There you go.
Force
Chuck
ghost.
Norris was
I was
Dean
sent
Cain's
by
dad
your-
all along.
That's
I
right.
was sent by your father. Never trust a polar bear.
Just don't.
But Chuck Norris says it with a total Japanese accent. Never trust a polar bear.
Come on, Cthulhu, Denny Trejo.
Let's see.
Wait,
let's see.
Elliot. What?
Nothing. I was just amazed.
Can you think of
No, I
a
know
good
that
one,
wow,
Grace?
Elliot. That is the wow of disapproval. I want to know
No,
exactly
what?
what you're wowing.
Really on board with all of this. Totally. I'm just confused. Go on. Keep going. I'll figure it out along the way.
It starts off with him not necessarily being a little bit conflicted with family and tradition because it's caused him some suffering living in Japan. But in the end of it, the actual family part of the thing, the swords and the spirits that were contained in them, end up giving him strength and being stronger than the traditions that tried to shut him down. And when he comes back to it, he has his family, their family soul, and reunites with his mom. And that those things, those parts of the family and of your tradition and your lineage are eternal and go past the bounds that other people would try and use to confine you. So that might be a good theme.
Yeah, it's a
overall.
good closing image if he's also his mom is at the train station when they arrive.
Yeah.
And he
That'll be
presents
beautiful.
his father's sword to his mom.
Mhm.
Right.
So it's
And all
catharsis.
the other swords are obviously, now the train track.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's catharsis theme. All those struggles to get there.
Hey, stop with the big English words.
No.
Struggles?
See, Mark,
Yeah.
it's this kind of writer's workshop that you've been missing in your work.
Yeah,
all
well,
these years.
I have been wasting my time.
Oh, come on.
Everything else I've ever done is just trash. I hate it.
You know what? All the steps bring you to where you need to be. None of them
You're
are
right.
wasted.
That's true. I'm just trying to put Dean Kane's head on a samurai picture right now. So,
I got
doing Herman's
Photoshop.
job for him.
Yeah, I got Photoshop for that. I mean, it's not that tough.
All right, so the catalyst is bringing
Steven Seagal on top of Gollum, so I don't think it'll be that tough.
That's right. You're never going to top that.
How many people actually laughed at that? Because I laughed at that as I was doing it.
Steven Smeagol.
Yeah,
Steven Seagal.
The Space Burn says theme. The real treasure is the friends we hemi-corporate. I can't
Well said.
I like that.
Hemi-corporectomize along the way. That's lovely. As long as
hemicorpectomy.
Hemicorpectomy. So
look it up.
Hemicorpectorized.
Don't look it up. I'm kidding. Don't look it up.
Hemicorpectomized. All right. All right. King Bob says, actually, I think I'll just leave this playing so my dreams are wicked cool.
Good call, King Bob.
There you go.
Wicked cool dreams.
That's
King
what's
Bob.
So we are good. The catalyst is picking up the shaman. Now, should we play that sort of out of the blue, or should we do sort of a run up to the shaman so we kind of get an idea of what they were doing beforehand, or is it like, what are we sneaking aboard this case, or is he actually like bringing a big old polar bear in a cage onto the thing with
so how is the shaman introduced, Jeannie?
right what's the introduction scene there?
Well, let's see. I think the girl in the story, she is probably trying to stop the shaman from summoning the monster and may or may not be detained by oh my gosh, the actor who's playing the sheriff?
Sorbo?
Yes. So Dean Kane's helping her escape her confined situation there, and she's trying to figure out, she knows that he has this an equal sort of like spiritual energy with what he's carrying that could be a match to the shaman who's trying to track her down.
So is she more along the shamanist? Is she more a Scully or a Mulder?
Okay. Now
she's got to be a Scully because she's female.
I guess I mean, if she's the
Scully
one
was
who
the
can
controller.
tell that something's going on and is trying to stop the shaman, then she would by default.
So then, what's her
believe
actual role? Is she also a llama? Is she in the Secret Service or?
I think she might be kind of like a mentor type character, somebody who knows a
Herald
little
mentor?
bit, a herald or mentor, somebody who knows a bit about what's going on and can help Dean Cain kind of understand what's happening here. Otherwise, it's just there's a random guy over there who looks really tough and maybe has a weird hat, but nobody really knows what he's up to, and he's not going to tell anyone. She might know and be trying to avoid him and be like, okay, that guy's up to some stuff, and tries to clue people in on what's going on. Kevin
Okay,
Sorbo
so she's
doesn't
no
really.
longer the one kicking him off the train. And
She's
taking
no
his-
longer. Was she kicking the shaman
Well,
off the train before?
it was an idea where
Oh.
she.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, she could be already clued into everything as the herald / character. She could, so she tried to kick the shaman off the train to stop the ritual way beforehand, but failed.
Right.
Got captured.
That still looks like she's thinking something.
This seems, I don't know, but just something that sort of came to my mind. What if like there's always like threshold guardians before you have the battle of the shadow?
Mm-hmm.
What if they're like maybe like animals or people in on the train who start acting behaving very erratically and start attacking people? And the Galen's character, maybe she's kind of like a seer exorcist, and she's like she helps like fight, and she can like expunge it, like somehow people or animals on the train are getting possessed and attacking people. And so Dean Cain, he's fighting them off because he knows how to fight, but it's kind of like, but he feels like something's like he feels like
this is
the real enemy here isn't the one I'm fighting, but I don't know what to do. And then she's like kind of interested, and so it's like she's kind of
catalyst.
Yeah, it's like he kind of like weakens or pins down the enemy, and she performs the exorcisms and is able to force the evil spirits out of the room. And so they kind of
that could even give you clues to what's going on too.
Right.
And maybe it's a good catalyst to bring Dean Cain and Sorbo together.
True. Because if there's
Sorbo wants to keep the peace on the train.
Yeah.
So he'd have to get involved in what they're doing in order to keep that peace.
Right.
Of course, there would be the confusion and him thinking that they were at fault for everything.
Sure, he becomes Han Solo. He's the doubter.
Yeah.
So really, he's the Scully. To Kevin,
he's the Scully.
Right.
To Dean Cain's, no, yes, it is a polar bear monster.
So we could there could be like a short sequence of Gillen and Trejo, I guess investigating the polar bears for whatever purpose, and that's when Gillen realizes what Trejo's really up to.
Yeah.
Like they're originally working.
So Trejo is actually betraying her, using her.
Yeah. To collect the polar bear stuff. Yeah. And then she wises up to it and kicks him off the train initially, or tries to kick him off the train initially to thwart what he's up to, fails. He does his, mystical mumbo jumbo thing and sets off the possessions of, people's pets and whatnot on the train, and, it goes from there.
Yeah, her kicking him off the train could be like the catalyst towards like the third act, where it's like he catches somehow or another, they're going 200 miles an hour, whatever it is, flying down the thing. She kicks him off, but somehow or another something hooks and he ends up like on the last train, and then you think he's gone, right? But then like stuff starts happening, and then you see him crawling along the top of the train, and as he's moving along, people are becoming possessed.
So he's kind of
he's like crawling along the roof of the train, chanting, starting a ritual, and it's having an effect on everything inside.
This is getting way too close to the movie Horror Express, with Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and
Nobody knows what you're talking about, Herman.
No, haven't heard of that.
I
one.
mean, it's a cool movie.
There were polar bears and eldritch horrors in that.
Well, it was in Siberia, so polar bears, Siberia, and it had Telly Savalas. And
Hey.
every movie is better with Telly Savalas. Who loves you, baby?
Who loves you, baby?
Apparently, Herman loved Terry Savalas, right?
Telly.
Savalas.
Telly.
Telly.
Telly Savalas.
Telly.
Here he is.
Ah, there you go.
Kojak.
I remember Kojak.
Yeah.
Although nowadays,
the creeper in the
we
Dirty
got,
Dozen.
we got the technology to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Hey, have you seen that AI where they did who was it? Joe Rogan and the creator of ChatGPT. They did this AI conversation. It was two AIs having a conversation. And it was like
my
so realistic.
My publisher has showed me some AI voice tech where people are doing audiobooks with
That's what I'm saying.
AIs. It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
Like in
It's
5 years,
completely freaking free.
Yeah, in 5 years,
audiobooks recorded.
True. You're gonna be able to get your audiobooks recorded, and you're gonna be like, I want that character to be Sean Connery. I want that character
I'll be
to
Morgan Freeman.
No, I mean really, it's gonna be crazy, and it's like intonation, it's pronunciation, it's nuts, and that's gonna come before you know it.
AI as it is, it sounds like it does sound like Joe Rogan, but it sounds like Joe Rogan reading something rather than Joe Rogan just being expressive and normal.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, well, that just sounds like somebody reading an audiobook. It's like dead on.
Being reading to someone. Yeah. I was fiddling with with some AI narration technology a couple of weeks back.
Dude, it's gonna be a world changer for authors.
Really good.
So much. Because how much does it cost to get an audiobook for it?
Tons and tons.
Right?
A lot. Yeah.
And it's one guy. I remember I listened to one audiobook, and it was the main character was this gruff guy, and so all the male characters sounded kind of like this, but then there was the love interest, and it sounded like this and like that. She doesn't sound pretty. I don't like her. She sounds like a large man doing a falsetto.
Yes.
She's a man, baby. Yeah.
She's a man. Speaking of, all right. So we only have a few minutes left here. Are we tight enough on this story, Herman? Are you going to be able to read
I
this?
won't be able to write this one.
Oh.
We should probably We should probably rotate this.
But you're the only one with nothing to do.
I got stuff to do.
Oh
wow!
Get the dialogue system done. Maybe we can make up a little
brutal
Connect novel from it.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, are you going to write this out as a treatment for us?
Oh, I'll work on it. I'll work on it while I'm doing doctor stuff.
Okay.
I'm waiting for surgeons.
Yeah, you just put the gas on the dude, turn around, start typing out.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
What's going to happen when I do a whole 90-page screenplay, huh?
Sorry.
What's going to happen? This thing's going to get filmed and we're going to win an Oscar. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be genius. Genius, I'd say.
Mike, I texted you a picture.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Like on my text or on my Twitter?
On your text.
I am the Flash.
I can do it. It's on the phone. Here, I'll tweet it to you. I really think we have something good here.
Yes.
Okay, I counted the rating for you.
Hold on, here it comes.
All right.
There's got to be a better picture than Kevin Sorbo, but he plays a lot of Cowboys.
True.
Okay, it's there.
Come on, open. Alrighty, let's share this. A little, what do you call it? Share screen. A little inspiration for everyone as they're imagining the story.
Wow.
Right?
That hair on Dean Cain.
Just brings it all to life. I know it
That
looks
was
more like
love.
Zoolander. But,
He's really, really good looking.
he's really, really good samurai.
It's Merman. Merman.
Shout out.
All right. Well, Nightmare on the Eldritch Express sounds like a go. Let's go back, check out a couple of things from our people here. Let's here. Where's this one?
I kind of like.
I'm gonna let Daniel go ahead and give us the lowdown on Anvil.
Oh yeah, Anvil Iron Age magazine issue number 1. Our Indiegogo crowdfund is still going for the next 19 days, I believe.
Exciting.
And it is 7 short stories by Iron Age authors and art supplied by independent creatives. Everything in this magazine was done through the Iron Age community of independent creatives. It's been phenomenal to work with everybody. This is technically Richard's baby, but since I'm here, I'll show for it.
And the link is in the chat and in the description. Iron Age, the Iron Age cometh, and you guys are doing really well.
Yes.
12,460.
I know.
Nice.
19 days to go.
The support has been incredible.
And you guys can check out A Drink with Crazy. He does a lot of Iron Age material. My son.
Our Friday night live stream is Iron Age Nights.
Iron Age Nights. There it is. All right, and back again to Ma'am I Am. Let's move Mark up here to give a last.
Yeah, Mark's turn to be
pitch.
huge.
Oh, just do it for Chet, I guess is what I'd say. Do it for Chet and all the ladies.
Festive.
Yeah, do it for Chet Festive. Tell your friends. I'm new to the crowdfunding game, but it should be a good time. And also heads might explode if it goes well enough. And I like exploding heads. That's fun.
Here's a tagline for you.
You're a doctor. You'd be able to, charge him.
Yeah. Should we read that little bit right there?
Yeah.
To give him a tease.
Which part?
Oh, let's go down to this is the part that kind of started the whole thing.
Pick your favorite.
Yeah. So this is the voice of reason who ends up getting arrested for misgendering. So it's a cautionary tale. After he's responding to this individual who is complaining about PMS symptoms. You have no uterus, so no, you cannot bleed from down below. I do not like your padded bra. You should not use the women's spa. You tell me you had surgery. Your pronouns still are him and he. Your chromosomes are X and Y. That means you'll always be a guy. You gave yourself a girly name. I do not care. You're not a dame. A surgeon chopped your eggs and ham. I still won't call you ma'am I am.
Yeah.
The whole book is like that.
It's pretty funny.
It is. I think, and everyone, it's like, I always say that Blazing Saddles did more to end racism than all of the crap Congress ever tried, right? Because humor, mocking the stupidity of these ideas is the best weapon. And so arm yourself for the culture war. Buy yourself a 10-pack and hand these out to every, I would say 13 and up. Kids, teenagers would freaking die laughing at this stuff.
They do. My 14-year-old is not impressed at almost anything I do now, and he and his pal were cracking up at this. So it's kind of a way to inoculate them because they're going to hit some weird stuff that I don't think anyone over the age of probably 30 could even fathom.
Yeah,
just weird, bizarre, what kind of stuff, and they're going to get hit hard by it.
Yeah,
so
indeed. So link for that is in the description, but here it is in the chat.
Here's a great tagline for this. Grab yourself a package.
Yes. Stolen.
Grab a package. All right, ladies and
Go for it.
gentlemen.
I'm taking it.
I got the lingering bronchitis cough.
Oh, bless your heart.
But I tell you what, man, I was bad for a couple of weeks there, and I started taking whole garlic cloves, just like pills, like medicine. And that night was the first night I slept through the night without like waking myself up coughing every 20 minutes. And then the next day, the sore throat was gone.
Yep.
And so now all I just have is the residual draining, and everything else is cut. So raw garlic, you got bronchitis. Bronchitis is going around. I don't know about where you live, but it's like.
Didn't give you a stomach ache?
Garlic doesn't give me stomach aches. So.
Yay!
That's a problem for you. I know that ginger also is supposed to help, and turmeric, but I just did the garlic. So,
of course, nobody wanted to be around him for like within 50 feet of him, but you know.
Well, he didn't chew it up.
I'm good.
All right, we haven't pizza. We haven't spaghetti tonight. Whoa, never mind.
All right. Normal goodbyes. I'm gonna eschew tonight because someone wants to play Age of Empires with me. So, thank you everyone for being here. Elliot, we're saying goodbye now.
Adios, my friend.
Oh wait. I suppose I need to share. Whatever. Herman.
True. Mike is not a vampire.
Fine.
Gosh, thanks.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, buy my book.
Yay!
I already looked it up on Amazon.
It's a step further on the shill scale than I am.
Dude, I've been shilling so hard for the last month. I'm just like shilled out.
Yeah.
I created a video ad just so I wouldn't have to say anything about one of my books. I could just link to the video.
Well, that's one of the things I do is I make. Well, this time I did a teaser video, and I did a normal trailer ad, and that's the stuff that I'll put up. So
yeah, Mark actually posted up a little animation today.
Really?
Let me see if I can find that.
I call it the auto shell.
Oops.
It does the work for you, huh?
Exactly.
I need to do that. That's a good idea.
Oh, here it is.
No one tells you when you're a creative that you got to be a marketer too. It's a real pain in the rear.
It is.
And I've self-published, and I want to see the big version.
How do you get a GIF to expand? Can you? Does it not?
You should.
Should.
How?
Well, it's not. But if you go to Huff for Congress, you can check it out. Or if you're on my Twitter, you can. I think I shared it. Oh no, I didn't. Here, retweet. There you go.
Yes, I got a retweet.
Woo! Yay! All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here. God bless everyone in the chat. Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Y'all
everybody.
be good now. You hear?
God bless.